Today, I want to talk about another subject matter that is of extreme importance to the Gen Zs, the Alpha and the Beta generations. And I'm talking about the difference between money and currency. What you think about this particular two items, or how you think about money and currency, trust me, influences the way you spend it. Hi, my name is Emmanuel Tumi, and let me welcome you once again to this particular channel, NexGen Pulse. Our focus is mainly to help the next generation of African leaders to become who God wants them to be. And for those of you who have joined us up to this point, you realize that our interest is on leadership development, financial literacy and inclusion, and also to help our young generation who are going to be the leaders of Africa to know how policy works. And that is what we are doing now. Today, I want to talk about another subject matter that is of extreme importance to the Gen Zs, the Alpha and the Beta generations. And I'm talking about the difference between money and currency. We're asking the question, is there any difference between money and currency? And it's important because what you think about this particular two items, or how you think about money and currency, trust me, influences the way you spend it. So the question is, what would you learn? Now, I'm going to share with you the difference between what money is and what currency is, so that we can compare the two. And then I'll talk about how your knowledge about these differences or this difference can influence the way you spend, whether it's money or currency, the way you look at it. And so this is very important. And so therefore, I want us to understand that in this episode, what we are going to learn is not about mere financial literacy. Again, I want you to know that it's about mental transformation, because the way you think about whether it's money or currency determines the outcome of how you use it. But let me thank our viewers, all of you who have supported us in, hitting the 2,000 plus mark subscription. We are so grateful to you. Last week, we hit 2,000 plus. And so please, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, we want to urge you, please join us by subscribing to the channel and liking it and sharing the link with as many people as possible. This August, by the end of August, we want to hit 5,000 subscriptions. And so please be a part of this call and let all of us celebrate the 5,000 by the end of August. My commitment to you and my team is that we are committed to bringing you the best of education program that will help you to understand how money works, so that when it comes to kicking out poverty from Africa, you will be a catalyst. You'll be one of the few people that is going to be the champions of creating jobs, creating wealth, and creating, opportunities for many, many other generations that will come after us. So please, thank you so much for joining us and being a member of the team that has helped us to hit the 2,000. And please, if you are not yet subscribed, as I said, help us to subscribe. So let's zoom in. Let me start by asking the question. And realistically, please answer this question yourself. Do you think there is any difference between money and currency? I want you to type your answer in the comment column. Do you think there is any difference between money and currency? Please type your answer in the subscription column. In the comment column, and let me know which country you are watching from. We read all these things. And the question is, why is this question very critical? Or why is your answer to this question extremely important? Please write your answer in the comment column. We will read it and it will inform our next episode. The question again, do you think there is any difference between money and currency? In other words, if I showed you this, if I showed you this, let me just show you this here. Now, this is 10 Ghana cedis. This is Ghana cedis. This is, which currency is this? This is CFA. CFA is used by the Francophone countries. Burkina, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, and the rest. CFA. This is from Malawi. This is Malawi currency. This is from Kenya, Kenyan shillings. This is 50 Kenyan shillings, okay? This is 50,000 Ugandan shillings. This is from Uganda. This is Uganda shillings. This is from South Africa. This is from South Africa. This is from Rwanda. This is from Rwanda. And of course, this is from the United States of America. So my question I'm asking you is, if I gave you any of this, if I gave you any of these currencies or these papers, would you consider them as currency or money? What would be your answer? I want you to answer. Write your answer in the comment column. Is this money or currency? What would be your answer? Write it in the comment column. The second question I'm asking is, why is this particular question extremely important? I mean, we want to know financial literacy, but what does it mean? Do we care whether it's currency or money? What does it really mean? Why must we be interested in this? My friend, as a Gen Z or an alpha generation or beta generation, this question is very critical. Why? Because your perception about money or currency influences the way you use it. Very, very important. The question of whether this is currency, these things I've shown you, these papers have shown you, whether you think it's currency or money would influence the way you use it, your appreciation of it. In the other episode, when we talked about the 6 money mistakes that every Gen Z, every alpha generation, or every beta generation must avoid, we talked about the fact that money can be, money, there are some mistakes that we must avoid about this thing we are holding here. So the question is, do you think this difference matter? Listen, to some people, money and currency are the same. That's their perception about it. And some others, money is a legal tender. So for them, this is nothing but a legal tender. In other words, it's a medium of exchange. If I go to this is Rwanda. So I go to Rwanda right now and I say I want to buy water. Somebody gives me water and I give them this. It's a medium of exchange. That is how they define this paper I'm holding here. It's a legal tender, medium of exchange. For some people, that's all it is. The ability to get what you want by using this in exchange for whatever it is that you want. Then to some others, it is money. So, my friend, what I'm saying is that the way you see your answer to the question whether it's money or currency largely influences the way you spend this particular paper I'm holding. And that is why I'm going to take my time to illustrate the difference between currency and money. And as a Gen Z, and as an alpha generation or beta generation individual, it is important for you to appreciate that your perception, the way you see this, matters a lot. So let's zoom in. Now, I want to start off by, again, using the same paper that I'm talking about here, showing you how some people, based on the way they perceived this, based on the way they perceived it, whether they perceived it as money or currency, influenced the way they spent money and how that perception ended them in the use of this thing that I'm holding here. This is very critical because you see, if you don't understand this, it doesn't matter how much money you are going to make in this life. If you don't appreciate the difference You can be poor in your life, even though you may have earned so much money. And there are some who may not have money right now, but based on their understanding of the difference between the two, they can rise up to the top financially. So I want to show you a few examples. Listen, in the athletic field, I'm not going to mention name. There was a female athlete who was earning $80,000 per race. And when it came to endorsements, I won't mention names, this person was receiving almost $1 million in endorsements. In other words, when companies want you to perform, do an advert for them, this person was receiving averagely $1 million per endorsement. But guess what? The house which she bought for her mother and herself was sold. In other words, we call it was foreclosed because she couldn't pay. What will make a person earn this much, whether it's money or currency, and end up not being able to pay for the mortgage of his or her house? And I'm saying to you, it's about the perception of whether we see this, whether we see this as paper, currency, or as money. This. Again, in the boxing field, I'm not going to mention names. There was a boxer in this current generation that we are talking about here, who was earning $400 million in over 20 years career. And per every fight, he was earning almost about $30 million per fight. However, by 2003, he had filed for bankruptcy and was owing almost $22 million. Question is, what will make somebody have so much, accumulate such money, such currency, such whatever, and yet ended up as bankrupt? Was it because they saw this as currency or as money? And I'm saying to you, the way you perceive it, the way you see this, affects the way you spend it. So stay with me. Again, in the entertainment field, there was an entertainer, I won't mention the name, who was most successful entertainer according to Guinness record books. The most successful entertainer. This person was earning $1 billion recording contract, $1 billion recording contract. Over 700 million records were sold. And yet, in 2007, he filed for bankruptcy. When we see somebody has filed for bankruptcy, in other words, he's saying that now I'm so broke, I can't pay my bills any longer. What will make a person earn so much money and end up broke like this? And I'm saying to you, it is all about the perception we have about these papers I'm holding. Whether you call it currency or money. So it's important for us to understand what I'm talking about here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you the difference between currency and money. Let's start off by asking the question, what is currency? What is currency? Listen to me. What is currency? Currency, number one, is an exchange tool. So, this is $100. This is 10 Ghana cedis. This is 1,000 sefa. 10,000 sefa and what have you. So, this is a currency. All this I'm holding is currency. It's an exchange tool. Now, we just went to the Forex Bureau to change cedis into dollar for the purposes of this program that we are doing. So I can take it back and say the program for which I came to exchange this money for, I'm done. So I'm bringing it back. So please give me my cedi back. That's an exchange tool. is currency. I want gold. Gold. I want any item. In the olden times, if I wanted gold, the person will say, okay, what do you have? I'll say, I'll have cassava. It's okay, you give me the cassava because I need cassava, and then you take my gold. That's how exchanges were done. Trade. Today, if I want gold and I don't have anything to give, I can give currency. I can give any of these papers and I'll take my gold. It's an exchange tool. That is a currency. Number two, currency is any kind of paper like this that decreases in value. If I got the gold, and at the time they gave me the gold was equivalent to $100, like this one, and therefore I give the $100 to them, or to the person who currently has the gold, and he or she gives me the gold, and I give that person this $100, and the person keeps this $100 by not exchanging it for another item, but he keeps this $100. Hear me. Whereas I have the gold, and he or she has this currency, over time, chances are that the real value of this currency will be devalued. It will come down. Whereas the gold that I have, the value of it may appreciate. So currency like this or like that can devalue. And that is why some people, when they look at the exchange rate, they say today the dollar is this. They buy more dollars because they know that with time it's going to appreciate. So if they are able to buy $1 million over time, that $1 million, if they exchange it back into cedis, they'll get more cedis because it would have been appreciated. So currency can either decrease in value or increase in value. Number three, currency responds to our decisions. This is currency. Okay, so I want to buy something. I want to buy shoe. I'm hungry. I feel like getting banana. I cannot go there without currency. I can go there and get my banana and give them cedis. I've exchanged this to meet my desire. That is currency. I'm trying to explain to us what is currency. Again, currency can be accumulated over time. So, if I have more of this, or if there's something that I can exchange and get more of this, whether dollar or kwacha or shilling or whatever, over time, I can accumulate plenty of this. So currency can be accumulated. That is currency. Again, currency is convertible. What do I mean by this? I explained to you. Before we started this program, we had to take thousand plus shillings to go to the Forex Bureau to exchange to convert it into this. We took cedis to exchange, in other words, to convert that cedis into this, so that we can use that to. So currency can be convertible. If I carry my dollar here and I go to Nigeria, I can convert this dollar into naira. So currency is convertible. If I take my naira and I come to Ghana, the moment I hit the border in Togo or Benin, I can convert the naira into cedis because I'm entering into a new jurisdiction where the naira may not necessarily become a medium of exchange generally on the market. So currency is convertible. Then again, currency can be earned. I can use, hear me, I'm going to make a statement. I want you to listen to me very carefully. I can use my money to earn currency. Don't be confused. I would explain. I can use my money to earn currency. I'll end it there. When I come to what is money, you understand why I'm saying that. I can use my money to earn currency. But without my money, I can never earn currency. So currency can also be earned with my money. I would explain what I mean by with my money. Because for some of you who think that currency and money are the same, you are asking yourself, how can you earn currency with money? Yes, you can earn currency with money. And finally, currency can be spent. The same way that I can use this currency to exchange to meet the desires of my heart. If I want to buy a nice shirt and I go to a shop, I can exchange this currency for the shirt that I'm looking for. So currency can be spent. When I get that shirt, in exchange for this money I'm holding, whether with this currency I'm holding, whether dollar or whatever, I have spent it. So currency can be spent. So these are the characteristics of these papers I'm holding here. Whether CD, whether CFA, whether Malawi dollar or shilling or whatever, I don't know. Whether Rwanda dollar or shilling, I don't know. Whether Ugandan shilling, whatever it is. All these characteristics can be attributed to any of these papers that I'm holding here. We call it banknotes. That is what a currency is. And I hope you understand me. Don't be confused. Stay with me. Especially when I said I can use my money in exchange for currency. Now listen, the question that we must ask ourselves therefore is, if these are the characteristics of currency, then what is money? If we are describing this as not mere money, but currency, then what is money? Please listen to me. I told you from the beginning, your perception about the difference would influence the way you spend money. And that is why some people made so much of it, and yet they lost everything because of the perception they had. And I'll come back to these characteristics again. Listen to me. Money is simply an idea. Simple. Now, what are you talking about? Listen. If you look at every business, you say this man is a millionaire, this man is this man is that. Question is, what made them billionaires or zillionaires or trillionaires? We say Aliko Dangote is a African billionaire. Aliko Dangote did not print currencies. He didn't go and hide somewhere and say, I've got a factory that prints money to make me the African billionaire. No, Aliko Dangote simply had a business idea. Are you following me? So money is not currency. Money is idea. Every business begins with a creative idea, which we call a solution to a problem. So money is an idea that provides a solution, and out of that solution, you get currency as a reward. How can you finish university? You've gone to learn business administration. You've gone to learn accountancy. You have a solution. Why can't you create an idea with that solution and solve a problem for somebody who has an accountancy or bookkeeping problem so that you can get the currency you are looking for? Stay with me. Stay with me. Every business idea begins with money. What is money? Idea. That idea becomes the solution to a particular problem. That is why we say that idea or solution is called opportunity. Business opportunity. Every business opportunity is money. So I live in a community where there's water shortage. If I can have an idea of going to rent a water distribution van and rent it per day, and I can supply water to solve the problem of water shortage in a particular community, and everybody is giving me currency in excess of how much I rented that car, I've used that creative idea of providing water solution to a community, to print, mark my word, to print more currencies. Do you know how Virgin Airlines became Virgin Airlines? It is said that Richard Branson traveled somewhere, I don't know whether it's America or whatever, and then their flight, which was bringing them back to London, was either cancelled or delayed. And there were so many people at the airport, and they didn't know how they were going to fly back. Now, Richard Branson, we are told that, went and chartered a plane, came back to the airport, and told the people, the passengers, listen, we have an aircraft. If everybody can pay this much, we can all fly together and go back to our home in London. And everybody contributed. That is how Virgin Airlines started. Creative idea to solve a problem, to print currencies. So what am I saying, ladies and gentlemen? If you are broke, when you say you are broke, it means you don't have these countable papers. Whether CD, dollar, kwacha, whatever, it means if you are broke, it's not because you don't have this, it's because you lack the idea to create, to print. Don't think it's only Bank of Ghana or the central bank that prints money. You can print your own money with your business idea. I'm not saying you set up a factory and you print. No, what I'm saying is that just like how Aliko Dangote is able to set up businesses with his ideas and have plenty of this, you can also solve a problem and print your own money like this. Because every business idea is an opportunity. You heard me right. So therefore, if you have finished university, you've been given some skills, and you say because you don't have these papers, you are broke. What it means is that you have failed to use your ideas, the skills that you have in creating a solution to solve a particular problem out of which you can create and print these papers that we are talking about here. Are you following what I'm saying? So, the point here is this. The point here is that opportunity, therefore, is a situation that enables you as an entrepreneur or an individual to offer marketable products or services, which is called solution, to interested buyers or customers or end users, so that you can have these papers, these currencies that we are talking about here. You can live in Ghana or Kenya or Malawi or Uganda or anywhere and put your idea, your solution on Facebook or online, and all these currencies from different parts of the world will flow into your account. Except that when they come to you in whichever country you have or you live in, your central bank will convert all these different currencies into the currency of the country that you live in. That means that it's convertible. Are you getting my point? So, money is not paper. Money is not paper. Money is not printed. It is currencies that are printed. Money is in the head of an entrepreneur. It's in the head of an individual. It's in your head as an individual. And you can use your money to get currencies. Because to get currencies, you need a business idea. Are you therefore surprised that this world is ruled by people with solutions? Look at Zoom, the Zoom product during the COVID. When everybody couldn't move around, supply chain was disrupted. Companies couldn't meet their staff. Zoom provided a solution. Globally. I am in Ghana. I'm doing this program from Ghana. The studio is in Accra. And yet, we subscribe to Zoom. When we pay from our CD, that CD is converted into dollars and it is transferred to Zoom's account. Why? Because Zoom has given us a platform, which is a solution that enables us to reach our audience and our customers. And by providing that solution to our problem, which is a problem of reaching our customers, which we cannot reach physically, we give them the currency called dollars. Their idea is printing money for them. Uber. You want to sit in the comfort of your home? When we were growing up, in my generation, if you wanted to travel and you didn't have a car, you go out there, you stand by the roadside. Then when a car which is marked yellow and blue, or sometimes red and blue, we call taxi, is passing, you do or you stretch your hand, the person, then he will ask you, do you want drop-in or you are jumping in to join the other passengers? That was the kind of service that was in service. Today, you sit in the comfort of your home with your phone. Somebody has created an app called Uber. He doesn't own a car. And yet, in the comfort of your home, he is able to help you to access a vehicle which will come right at the doorsteps of your house. And then he sits somewhere, whether in America or whatever, and then the fee you are paying the driver, he has a commission. Can you imagine? All over the world. Are you surprised that they are billionaires? Because they created a solution and were able to scale it up. So you cannot scale up currency, but you can scale up money, because money is an idea. So rather than chasing after currency, chase after money. Rather than pray for currency, pray for money, which is ideas. I don't know whether you follow me up to this point, but I wish every Gen Z, every Alpha, every beta generation person would agree with me that your head has money locked up in there. Stop complaining about politicians and their policies. Stop complaining. Stop following them and use your head. Bring out the idea in your head to print these currencies that you are looking for. Because that is how you are created to be. It doesn't take education. Yes, the more educated you are, the more you can have plenty of this. But even if you don't, no. It doesn't take schooling. Let me use that word. It doesn't take schooling, because there's a difference between schooling and education. Education does not require a four-wall classroom. Schooling does. Listen to me, Gen Z. Listen to me, Alpha. Listen to me, Beta generation. Money is in your head. Money is in your head. Use it to attract currencies. Use it to print currencies. Use it to kill unemployment. That is money. Money is therefore a favorable set of circumstances, which we call opportunity, that can create the need for a product, a service, or business. So once you have money, you can create this currency that we are talking about here. Idea. You know, take for example Airbnb. They don't own hotels. They don't. Not a single building. They just sat down, thought through how can we solve the problem of people who have homes. But he has a 4-bedroom flat. He's not using it. It's there. Throughout the year, the rooms are empty. Nobody's staying there. The children have all outgrown. They've left. They've all gone to buy their homes and everything. This is a property that nobody's using. Yet you are paying property rate and all of that. They came out with an idea and said, how can we create a platform that will enable homeowners who have excess rooms to utilize them as accommodation for travelers who are coming to town, and they don't want to go and pay exorbitant rates at the hotels, and yet they will have all the facilities in the house so they can pay you. That is how Airbnb came to be. So therefore, they created this app, the opportunity, the idea that once you use the app and you're able to attract occupants to come and live in your house, they get a commission from the occupancy rate. It was in their head. Whether they are in America, Japan, whatever, once you use the app, you share as a landowner or as a building owner or as a property owner, you share the currencies you are receiving, whether dollar, whether yen, whether China, whatever, you share it with them. Even though they don't own a property, they don't pay property rate and what have you, but they are getting part of the currency that you are getting. That is what money is all about. And I hope that you understand the point I'm making. So therefore, what am I saying? The more ideas you can generate and work with, the more currency you can make. The more ideas you can generate, the more money you can generate, the more currency you can print or make. Poverty, therefore, is not a lack of currency. Poverty is a lack of money, ideas. That is what poverty is all about. Can you therefore imagine if our young people in Africa were educated to understand that instead of sitting down and waiting for government to come and help you, use the idea in your head and you can create the purpose you are looking for without even needing the intervention of the government. Please. There's no head in Africa. There is no head. This coconut sitting on my neck. There's no head in Africa which is empty. Every head in Africa, young person, Gen Z, Alpha, Beta, has money in the head. There's money in your head. There's money in your head. Because money is ideas. They are used to produce currencies. I hope you get the point I'm making here. So, listen, you need money, ideas to produce or to print countable currencies. You need money to print currencies. When I say you need money to print currencies, please understand me. Understand me. What I mean is this. You need ideas to have more of these currencies. Currency is not money. That is why whenever people ask me, do you have money? I tell them, no, I don't have countable papers in my pocket. I don't have countable papers in my pocket. But money, I have it in my head. I have it in my head. Please, I pray that every Gen Z, every beta generation person, every alpha generation person in Africa would appreciate that money is in your head. Money is in your head. Use it to generate currencies for yourself. And you can have different currencies. That is why you can sit in Africa and have a dollar account, have a kwacha account. Every account you want, you can generate it with the idea that is in your head. That is what you need. So, again, we are asking the question, what is money? The second characteristic of money is that money is the reward for solving a problem. I explained to you. The more problems your ideas can solve, the more currencies you can make or print. The more complex and technical the problem, the more currencies you can print. Like the example I gave you. Look at Uber. Look at Airbnb. All over the world. They are attracting money from all over the world. To the extent that people have even been franchised Look at Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC. They're all over the place. Look at Lancet Laboratory, where people go to and do their tests. They're all over the countries in Africa. Now another one has come. It's called Sin Lab. They're all over the places. Listen to me. You have money in your head. Use it as a solution to problems, and you will have more of these countable currencies that we are talking about here. So the question is, how can you use your money to print currencies? I'm going to give you six strategies that you can use your money that is in your head, your ideas, to print currencies. And please follow me very carefully. Number one, the first one you must have is that change your view of what you call money. Please listen to me. This is not, understand that this is not money. This is currency. So when you see this as money, and you don't have it, you become demoralized. What you don't have is currency. But guess what? You have money in your head. Use it, and you can have a legal tender. Money is not a legal tender or a medium of exchange. It is currency. That is a medium. So the moment you don't have these papers, rather than being demoralized and sad and what have you, no, sit back and ask the question: how can I bring out the money in my head, the idea in my head, to get the currency that will enable me to have a medium of exchange in my community? Money is simply an idea. That is the first strategy you must have. Number two, treat people with respect. Treat people with respect. Why? The idea that you have is a solution. And what's the solution? A solution must be a solution to a problem. And who has the problem? People. People. So if you don't treat people with respect, people will not buy into your solution for them to give you currencies in exchange of the solution that you are giving them. Money is a reward for solving people's problems. But if you don't treat them with respect, several years ago, I wrote a book titled Customer Service is Attitude, Not a Department. If your idea is used to create a business, my friend, and you don't respect your customers, you will not have these currencies that we are talking about here. So treat people with respect. The moment you use your idea to generate a solution to solve a problem, treat the customers who are coming to you with respect. Why? The currencies you are looking for is in their pocket. It's in their bank account. That is the medium they are going to use to exchange for the solution that you are providing for them. So that is the second key you must learn. Number three, save and invest for your future. Listen to me. You cannot save and invest money. You can only invest currencies. You cannot invest money. You cannot invest solutions. You can only invest currencies. So when you have used your business idea, when you have used the money in your head to generate these currencies, in order for you to have plenty of this over your lifetime, save the currency, invest the currency so that you can have a sound future financially. I have proposed a formula for all Gen Zs. I call it the 10-30-60 investment formula or financial formula. The 10-30 financial formula. Give 10% out to everybody that you want, whether either by name, by way of tithe, or give it to some needy child, sponsor somebody or whatever. 10% of all your income, all your currency, all your reward, give it out. And then make sure that 30% of that currency that you have generated, you invest it into your future. I've said to you, if you leave all your money in your savings account, you can never create wealth because you cannot use compound interest with savings account. You can only use compound interest with investment. That is why you must learn the 7 essential money management skills. If you look for my video on the 6 money mistakes Gen Zs must avoid, you can learn more about that. The third key is that you must save and invest for your future by never skipping the 10, 30, 60 formula, financial formula. Caution, don't leave all your money in your savings account. Because if you leave all your money in savings account, the bank will take your money, give it out as a loan at about 20% or 19% or 30%, sometimes even 20%, and then they'll give you only 1 or 2%. So don't leave all your money in your savings account. Your savings account is only to help you to generate enough currencies to invest into your future. Please note that. Number four, know the rules of the money game. I've said it many, many times in most of my videos. You must know the difference between an asset and a liability. And if you have to know the value of currencies, increase your assets and decrease your liabilities very early in life. Please avoid using all your currencies to purchase perishable items like phones, like sneakers, like, digital watches. One is enough. But to spend all your money changing them every year, no, you don't understand the money rule. Increase your assets. You can invest, take the money, buy something like a land, or buy something like a vehicle for Uber. Let it work for you. So that when you are sleeping, your asset will be earning money for you. So please learn that. That's the number 4. Number 5, as you can see, if you learn this, you know the difference between currency and money, your future will be secured. Number 5, consciously spend less of your currencies than you earn. When you have used your idea to generate more currencies, please reduce your spending life. Reduce your expenditure. Avoid waste. Have a financial plan and spend only on necessities. Get my video on the 5 money rules every Gen Z must have. Please, consciously spend less. Make it an intentional habit. Make it a way of life. Spend less. Don't follow your tastes. Don't follow your tastes. Every rich person lives like a poor person, and every poor person have chosen to live like a rich person. Consciously spend less than you earn. It doesn't matter how much currencies you have in your bank account. Spend less on your liabilities and spend more on your assets. Okay? And then number 6, final point. Create a spiritual financial reservoir. Listen, I'm a Christian, and I've come to appreciate that sometimes to become financially wealthy, it's not all about hard work. It's also about the grace of God. When I fell sick, I told my wife, the youth are praying for me. So even though I have a mild stroke, I'll get up again. I'll talk again. I'll write again. I'll drive again. Why? Because I spent all my life helping young people to have a better future. And by that, I was creating a spiritual bank account where young people were praying for me. And that is why, even though there were predictions that, you may not be able to do it today, I am doing almost everything that the doctor said I couldn't do. Listen to me. Open an account with what I call Divine Bank Unlimited. Divine Bank Unlimited, to guarantee your unlimited supply of currencies. I repeat that. Open an account with what I call the Divine Bank Unlimited to guarantee your unlimited supply of this currency. Listen, the race is not to the swift. Bible says, I've seen men who are intelligent, who are smart, who are highly educated, but they are broke. Why? Because everything was about me, me, me. When Jesus Christ was about to feed the multitudes, the Bible says he lifted up the 5 loaves of bread. 5,000 people with 5 loaves. How can this be? In fact, the disciples themselves asked, how can this be? How can these 5 loaves be used to feed 5 multitudes? You know what Jesus Christ did? He lifted up the 5 loaves of bread and he prayed. Do you know what he did? By lifting the bread and praying, he was connecting the 5 loaves of bread into what I call the Divine Bank Unlimited. It's like an iron. If you want to iron your dress, if you don't plug the iron into the mains, you cannot iron the dress. The mains is not in your house. The source of the mains, the electric power, is from the dam, connected through wires and poles. That is how it's able to get to your house. And until you plug your iron into that mains, you can never have the heat to iron your dress. So what am I saying? Whatever currencies you have, connect it to what I call the Divine Unlimited Bank, so that you can be guaranteed an unlimited flow of currencies. It doesn't matter the type that you are looking for. This is what I teach. This is what I live by. That is why I give. That is why I support people. That is why all my life I've dedicated it to young people. Please, young person, Gen Z, Alpha, Beta generation person, listen to me. Don't be selfish. Don't think all about yourself. Let 10% of your income go and help other persons. Go and help. It can be your colleague who is less endowed than you. Help that person. If you're a Christian, you want to give that as tithe. You can help somebody in your community, in your hometown. By so doing, you are investing in what I call your Divine Bank Unlimited, to guarantee you an unlimited supply of these currencies that we are talking about here. So I hope that by this short episode, you've learned, number one, about the difference between money and currencies. That this is not money. If you see this as money, it will influence the way you spend it. This is currency. Money is in your head. It's ideas. Money is not this paper. It's a reward for solving a problem. The more ideas you have to solve very complex and technical problems, the more currencies you can print. And when I say print, I'm saying that you can generate, you can produce, but the usage of your idea. So take note of that. Again, when you master the 6 keys to print currencies, you can have more of them. Treat people with respect. Change your view of what you call money. It's currency. Save and invest for a sound financial future. Invest your currency. Don't keep it to yourself. Don't put it under your bed. Don't leave it in your savings account. Invest it to create a sound financial future for yourself. Know the rules of money. Know the rules of money game. Know the difference between an asset and a liability. And please, spend less than you earn and create a spiritual bank account. Invest in the Divine Bank Unlimited, because that is the only way you can guarantee an unlimited supply of currencies. And I'm not saying this because I'm a Christian. I've tasted it, I've tried it, and I can tell you, it works. Why? Because God is faithful. Very, very faithful. So let me end by saying that whether you are an alpha generation, a beta generation, or a Gen Z, the financial future you are looking for is in your hands. It's in your head. Go for it. Bring it out. Create solutions. Create opportunities. Solve problems. And you shall have all the currencies that you are looking for. My name is Emmanuel Edetumi, and please, I want to thank all of you who have supported us for us to hit the 2,000 mark of subscription. If you have not, please subscribe to this channel and help us. By the end of August, we want to hit 5,000 subscriptions. So please share the link and subscribe, and urge all your colleagues to also support us by subscribing. I have promised you, I'll do the research. My team and I will do the research, and we shall bring you only quality educational materials that will help you to break the back of poverty. Because listen, money is in your head, and you can have plenty of this if you know and have the tools to know how to utilize it. And that is our pledge for you. If we're Gen Z, for an alpha generation or a beta generation, let's partner and get this thing done. Thank you for watching. I'll see you same time, the next episode.